In a world where tensions run high, two nations stand on the brink of conflict, each with its own formidable military, strategic alliances, and a history of animosity that stretches back decades. But what would happen if Israel and Iran, two of the most powerful countries in the Middle East, were to go to war? This is not just a hypothetical scenario. The stakes are real, and the consequences could be catastrophic. In this video, we'll delve into the potential outcomes of an Israel-Iran conflict, analyzing their military capabilities, strategies, and the global implications of such a war. Historical background. To fully grasp the gravity of a potential Israel-Iran war, we must first journey back through the complex and often turbulent history that has shaped the current state of affairs. The relationship between Israel and Iran has not always been one of hostility. Prior to the 1979 Iranian Revolution, the two nations enjoyed a relatively amicable relationship, with diplomatic ties and mutual interests in countering Arab nationalism. However, the revolution that brought Ayatollah Khomeini to power dramatically shifted Iran's foreign policy. The new Islamic regime adopted a staunchly anti-Israel stance, branding the Jewish state as an illegitimate entity and a Zionist regime that must be eradicated. Over the years, this ideological divide has manifested in various forms of indirect conflict, with Iran backing groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, organizations that have waged relentless campaigns against Israel. Meanwhile, Israel has conducted numerous covert operations aimed at undermining Iran's nuclear ambitions and weakening its influence across the region. This shadow war has included cyber attacks, targeted assassinations, and intelligence operations, all designed to keep the two nations from engaging in a full-scale war. Yet the underlying tensions have continued to simmer, with each side preparing for the possibility that these skirmishes could one day escalate into an all-out conflict. Military capabilities. When assessing the potential outcomes of a conflict between Israel and Iran, it is essential to first examine the military capabilities of both nations. Israel, despite its small size and population, has developed one of the most advanced and capable military forces in the world. The Israeli Defense Forces are renowned for their technological prowess, with a cutting-edge arsenal that includes the F-35 stealth fighter jets, precision-guided missiles, and an extensive network of surveillance and intelligence gathering systems. The backbone of Israel's defense strategy lies in its multi-layered air defense system, which includes the Iron Dome, David's Sling, and Arrow systems. These systems are designed to intercept and neutralize a wide range of threats, from short-range rockets to long-range ballistic missiles. Israel's military strategy is heavily reliant on its ability to maintain air superiority, and its air force is among the most capable in the world. The IDF's emphasis on rapid mobilization and precision strikes allows Israel to respond swiftly to threats, neutralizing enemy capabilities before they can inflict significant damage. In addition to its conventional forces, Israel is widely believed to possess a substantial nuclear arsenal, although the government maintains a policy of ambiguity regarding its nuclear capabilities. This strategic ambiguity serves as a deterrent, ensuring that any nation contemplating an attack on Israel must consider the potential for catastrophic retaliation. Iran, on the other hand, possesses a military force that, while not as technologically advanced as Israel's, is significantly larger in terms of personnel and diversified in its capabilities. The Iranian military includes the regular army and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the latter of which plays a crucial role in Iran's defense strategy. Iran's ballistic missile program is one of the largest in the region, with missiles capable of reaching deep into Israeli territory. These missiles, which range from short-range rockets to medium-range ballistic missiles, form the core of Iran's deterrent strategy. In addition to its conventional forces, Iran has developed a robust asymmetric warfare capability, relying on a network of regional proxies, cyber warfare, and unconventional tactics to counter its adversaries. Iran's ability to wage asymmetric warfare is a key factor in any potential conflict with Israel. The IRGC's Quds Force, which oversees Iran's extraterritorial operations, has established strong ties with militias and proxy groups across the Middle East, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Shia militias in Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen. These groups can be mobilized to launch attacks on Israel from multiple fronts, creating a complex and multifaceted battlefield. The initial conflict. If war were to break out, it would likely begin with a massive missile exchange. Iran would attempt to overwhelm Israel's air defenses with a barrage of rockets, targeting key military installations, infrastructure, and civilian areas. In response, Israel would launch a series of precision airstrikes on Iranian missile sites, nuclear facilities, and command centers. The initial phase of the conflict would be brutal, with both sides suffering significant casualties. Israel's superior air force would aim to cripple Iran's missile capabilities quickly, but Iran's ability to launch attacks from multiple fronts, including from Hezbollah in Lebanon and militias in Syria, would complicate Israel's efforts. Escalation and regional impact. As the conflict escalates, the entire region could be drawn into the war. Iran's allies, including Hezbollah and various militias in Iraq and Syria, would likely join the fight, launching attacks against Israeli and U.S. targets across the region. Meanwhile, Israel's allies, particularly the United States, might intervene to support Israel, leading to a broader Middle Eastern conflict. The involvement of global powers would further escalate the situation. The U.S., with its bases in the Gulf and its commitment to Israel's security, could be drawn into direct conflict with Iran, leading to a larger regional war. This could trigger a humanitarian crisis, with millions of people displaced and widespread destruction across the Middle East. The global implications. The consequences of an Israel-Iran war would extend far beyond the Middle East. The global economy, already fragile, would be severely impacted. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical choke point for global oil supplies, could become a battleground, causing oil prices to skyrocket and leading to a global economic crisis. Diplomatically, the conflict could lead to a realignment of global alliances, with countries forced to choose sides. The United Nations would likely be paralyzed, unable to bring about a ceasefire, as the Security Council's permanent members would be divided on how to respond. The aftermath. In the aftermath of such a conflict, the Middle East would be left in ruins, with untold numbers of casualties and a humanitarian disaster on a massive scale. Even if the war were to end quickly, the long-term consequences would be devastating. The region would be destabilized for decades, with the potential for ongoing insurgencies and further conflicts. Rebuilding would be a monumental task, requiring international cooperation and billions in aid. But the scars left by such a war would be deep, affecting generations to come. As we leave you with these thoughts, we urge you to stay informed, engage in discussions, and support efforts that promote peace. If you found this exploration of a potential conflict insightful, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing for more in-depth analyses of global issues.